In this episode of Cooking with Stacy Lynn, I'm gonna be cooking homemade cornbread dressing, everybody's favorite. So the first thing that you'll do is start your aromatics. In a skillet, I've got butter already melted, and I'm gonna turn the heat back on. The butter and the pan don't have to be hot when you put in your onions. You're really just sweating the onions, you're not really sauteing. And now I'm gonna cut the celery. And the easiest way I have found to cut the celery is to just go down the length of the celery 2 or 3 times, depending on the size of the celery, trying to make all of them the same size. Just going down and chopping away. Now I have to tell you, we eat this dressing all throughout the year. It's a great way to fill up on something when you just have, like, say, one meat item in a salad. It's just delicious. I've got the onions and celery and the butter all combining, and they're gonna be softened in about 3 minutes or so. So I'm gonna leave them, I'm gonna turn it down on low heat, and I'm gonna go over and start the rest of the cornbread dressing. All right, so now that our cornbread is ready, I'm just gonna dump all of this hot cornbread in. Now you can make your cornbread ahead of time if you want to, but you don't have to, and I didn't. If it's hot, it's gonna be hard to mash up. So I have 2 forks, and I'm just gonna tear it apart. Just tear it apart everywhere. Look at all that steam. Now I have an extra cornbread over here that I may use, but it's looking pretty much to me like this is about 6 cups of cornbread, and that's what I like to fill my casserole dish. So I've got the cornbread all ready. Now I'm gonna add the bread. So this is something that's unusual about this recipe, and my grandmother did it, so I do it, but I have figured out why her cornbread dressing is so good, and that's because she does add this white bread. Now this is just plain white bread, no whole wheat bread. Y'all, this is not the time for whole wheat bread. This is a time for white bread. All right, now I'm gonna add the poultry seasoning. So I add about 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning. I might have a little bit more in here. I felt like having a little bit more poultry seasoning today. All right, and then I'm gonna add the chicken stock. You can add turkey stock if you like, if you have it. Stock is super easy to make, but store-bought is okay too. So here it goes. So I'm just gonna pour this stock over the mixture. All right, and now I'm gonna play the liquid by ear, but I moistened everything in here. I wanted it all moist, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest, because it needs to be pretty wet. Okay, now I'm gonna get the eggs, and it's gonna take 4 eggs. So you've got 6 cups of cornbread, 4 eggs, the poultry seasoning, the bread, and it's already looking great. Okay, all right. Now, I like to mix my eggs on top. You could use a separate bowl, but I like to mix my eggs on top of the dressing and just get it kind of broken up and really mixed well. It's the same to me as using a little bowl, and it gets incorporated into this really, really well. Can you see that? That is just beautiful. That is like liquid gold to me. Okay, so I've got that, the texture I want, and as you can see all of that cornbread and bread, it's all broken up now. Okay, so now comes another amazing addition. So I have here cream of mushroom soup. I'm not gonna add all of that right now, but I am gonna add about half of it. This is gonna make it so incredibly creamy. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this up. Gosh, that looks good. All right, now I bet my onions are done sauteing. I'm gonna get them really quick. And they are, and you've got the butter in it. Normally you would never saute this amount of onions and celery in this much butter. But because we want our dressing nice and buttery, we did it in a whole stick of butter. Okay. All right, and here it goes into the pan. Hey, Millie, can you come help me with this? All right, let me move that for you. Here's a spatula. We can get the rest of all of this into the pan. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. That made it way easier. 2 is better than 1, always. 2 is better than 1. Gonna give it a little jiggle, okay? And now it goes into a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes or until it's brown on the top, and it has a tiny bit of jiggle, but not much. It's been 40 minutes and my dressing is perfectly brown and it jiggles just a tiny bit in the middle, so it is ready. Look at that. It is gonna be so good with gravy, and you can prepare this up to 4 days ahead and keep it in the refrigerator with a little saran wrap. So this should never stop you from making the best dressing and gravy for Thanksgiving Day. Thank you so much for watching, and please check out my other Cooking with Stacy Lynn videos.